Hey everybody, we're live and in stereo, so we're gonna complete the 2023 set for states of matter. Please understand that there's no 2024 set for states of matter because it wasn't tested in 2024, right? So question number 1 says molten KClO3 reacts with glucose, and he's saying KClO3 melts at 630 Kelvin. At this temperature, both carbon dioxide and H2O are gases, right? So he's saying carbon dioxide is also a gas and H2O is also a gas. I think use the ideal gas equation to calculate the volume in meter cube, and we know that whenever we use ideal gas equation, which is PV equals nRT, this P should be in pascals, volume should be in meter cube, N are the number of moles obviously, R is given, it's the ideal gas constant, that's 8.31, it's going to be given to you in the exam, and temperature must be in on the measure using the absolute scale, which is in kelvins, right? So he's saying use the ideal gas equation to calculate the volume in meter cube for 1 mole of gas at, so he's given us the moles, N is given, at 630 Kelvin, he's given us the temperature and he's also given us the pressure. We just have to plug it into the equation and that's it. PV equals nRT. These questions are very basic, very easy, no rocket science whatsoever. So pressure is 1 into 10 raised to the power 5. V I need to find. Moles I have, he's saying 1 mole, R is 8.31. It's given in the exam. It's going to be given to you in your at the back of your exam sheet. Right? And temperature is 630 kelvins, right? So you solve for V equals 1 times 8.31 into 630 divided by 1 into 10 raised to the power 5, and you're going to get V in meter cube. Remember, V is going to be in meter cube if you use all the other variables, if they are in their SI units as per the equations requirement. V is also going to be automatically calculated in meter cube, and it has to do with these R constants. And if you solve out for their units, you've learned that in physics chapter number 1, homogeneous equations and all of that good stuff. So even if you want to figure out the units, you'll realize that you'll end up with meter cube. So you don't have to do all of that. It's not a physics class. You just have to plug it into the equation and you're going to end up with calculate this. Let's calculate. I'm going to get I'm getting 0.052353, right? But since, and this is obviously in meter cube, but he's asked the answer correct to 3 significant figures, so I'm going to write correct to 3 significant figures. Remember, preceding zeros are never significant figures, right? So this is significant figure number 1, 2, and 3. So it should be 0.0524 because this 5 would be rounded off here, right? So it's 0.0524 meter cube. That's it. Next, he's saying 5 grams of glucose completely reacts with KClO3, potassium chlorate effectively. I put potassium chlorate 1, right? Or chlorate 5, not 1, chlorate 5. This is plus 5 here, nobody cares. Now he's saying use your answer to D part 1 to calculate the total volume of gas released at 630 Kelvin and 1 into 10 to the power 5 pascals in this reaction. If you are unable to use, we were actually able to figure out the volume of 1 mole of gas, which is 0.0524. Now it's pretty simple. See, he's given you the mass of glucose right here, and you want to figure out the volume of gas, right? And in the question, he stated that the volume, the gases that you are getting is carbon dioxide and H2O. So what you have to do is you have to convert glucose. You have to just use simple stoichiometry. You have to go from the mass of glucose into the moles of glucose and go from the moles of glucose into the moles of H2O and carbon dioxide, right? It's basically 1 mole of glucose gives you 12 moles of gas, right? And we know that because carbon dioxide is also a gas and H2O is also a gas, and that's stated right here in the exam question, right? So what we need to do is we need to say, hey, let's use simple stoichiometry. Let's go from the mass of glucose into the moles of glucose and stitch these two together stitch the moles of glucose with the moles of gas, which is 12 moles of gas, and then you'll be able to use your part 1 answer and figure out the volume, right? Let's do it. Mass equal mole times molar mass. Mass is given for glucose, it's 5 grams. Moles of glucose I need to figure out. What's the molar mass of glucose? You can calculate it. It's 12 times 6 plus 1 times 12, because you have 12 hydrogens, yes, and each hydrogen has the molar mass of 1. Oxygen is 16 times it by 6, and if you sum all of that up, you get 180. So 180 is the molar mass of glucose. So that's 180 moles equals 5 divided by 180. These are the moles of glucose. I don't want to write the decimals. You can if you want. But now I don't need glucose. I have to go from glucose's moles to the moles of gas. And I know 1 mole of glucose gives me 12 moles of gas, 6 moles of carbon dioxide and 6 moles of H2O. So if you have 5 divided by 180 moles of glucose, how many moles of gas do you get? N cross multiply, what do you get? 5 divided by 180 into 12, that gives me 1 over 3. That gives me what? 1 over 3 moles. These are the moles of gas. And obviously, if you look at your idea is that if for 1 mole of gas you had this much volume, see, he's even asking you to use D part 1. For 1 mole of gas, if you had this much volume, for these many moles of gas, how much volume would you have? X. You could cross multiply, or you could simply just say, hey, for 1 mole of gas you have 0.0524 meter cube volume. So 1 over 3 moles of gas would give you how much volume? X. Or you could have directly multiplied 1 over 3 with 0.0524 if your math is strong. What do you get? 1 over 3 times 0.0524, that gives me 0.01746. And now please understand that all the data that's been given to you in the question, is correct to 3 significant figures. See, it's 1, 2, 3, 3 sig fig. If you look here, 1, 2, 3, 3 sig fig, 630, 1, 2, 3, 3 sig fig, 3 sig fig, 3 sig fig. Everywhere you see, you're going to end up with, see, even this is 3 sig fig. 1, 2, 3 preceding zeros are never significant figures. So they're all significant, 3 sig fig. So if I were to write my answer, it should be correct to 3 significant figures. This is where students mess up and they end up losing marks. So it's 0.0, preceding zeros don't count. This is 1 significant figure, 2 significant figures, and 3. This 6 should be rounded off right here. So it should be 0.0175 effectively. So 0.0175, and that's it. Done. Molten KClO3, and it's the same question. In 2023, the same question has been repeated. So we could just, you could copy the same answer right here. Okay? If you want me to copy it, I can absolutely do that. Give me a moment. So I've just copied the above question and the above answer right here because it's a repeat question, so you guys can check this out. It's the same answer as to what I've done above right here. Done. So next, question 3 says there's a compound. He's given us compound carbon dioxide, SO2, CS2, and CSO, and all of that good stuff. Now he's saying, is there overall dipole moment? Well, you guys have already solved this in chapter number 2, but I'll solve it right here again. It's not linked to chapter 6, but the other parts of this are linked to chapter number 6. So I'm going to just quickly go over it. You know that carbon dioxide, although these are polar bonds, it's chapter number 2. I know you guys know this. Although this is a polar bond, it's a polar covalent bond. Although that's true, but due to the overall regular arrangement and due to the dipole moments cancelling out, due to this regular arrangement structure, this molecule does not have an overall dipole, and we've studied this in quite a lot of detail in the last couple of chapters, right? SO2, now you might think, hey, the dipole moments would cancel out. One dipole moment would go here, one would go here, and they'd cancel out, but that's absolutely incorrect because S is in group 6 or group 16, and it has made 4 bonds, 2 here and 2 here. So in total it has shared 4 electrons, and therefore a lone pair is still left. And whenever there's a lone pair, it can never be a regular arrangement. All the bonds cannot be, or the electron cloud is not evenly distributed, right? Because there's a lone pair, it's a bent shape, it's not a regular arrangement. So this would have therefore an overall dipole moment. This fella right here, this is my central atom, and since there's no lone electrons, the dipole moments would cancel out right here. This is a regular arrangement. Overall distribution of electrons is symmetrical, and therefore it's this one will not have an overall dipole moment. And if you look at this fella, oxygen is partial negative. It will pull out the electrons towards itself. The electron cloud is not evenly distributed, and therefore the overall dipole moment would look something like this. It will lie more towards the electron cloud, would lie more towards the oxygen right here. So this is in fact there will in fact be an overall dipole, right? So that's true. Now, and we've already done this in chapter number 2 in the same question. It's just connected to all the other parts. So that's why I wanted to place it here. Now, at 150 degrees Celsius, 103 kilopascals, all the compounds listed in table 1.2 are gases. Under these conditions, 0.284 grams of one of the compounds occupies a volume of 127 cm cube. Use this information to calculate the MR of the compound, hence identify the compound from the table given in 1.2. Show your working. So it's pretty simple. It's basic piece of cake. What do I need to do? I have to use my idea of PV equals nRT. Right, so PV equals nRT. He's given me the pressure, which is 103 kilopascals. I have to convert it into pascals, so times it by 10 raised to the power 3, because kilo just means 1000, right, or 10 raised to the power 3. Volume is given, it's 127 cm cube, but convert it into meter cube. It should always be in meter cube. Therefore, multiply this by 10 raised to the power minus 6. And if you don't know this, 1 meter equals 100 centimeter. So if I were to cube this fella, 1 meter cube would be equal to 100 centimeter cube. And 100 centimeter cube is basically 10 raised to the power 6 centimeter cube. So if you were to go from centimeter cube into meter cube, it would be 10 raised to the power minus 6, right? Go write it here. 127 cm cube would be how many meter cube? X cross multiply, you get 127 into 10 raised to the power minus 6, or 127 divided by 1000. And this is equal to the moles multiplied by R is given 8.31 multiplied by T. T is what? T is the temperature, 150 degrees Celsius. It must be in kelvins. 273 is, if you want to convert 150 into kelvins, it should be added to 273, right? Because whenever you were to go from degree Celsius into Kelvin, what do? You take 273 and add the degree Celsius to it. And that's how you end up with the Kelvin scale right here. So what's the temperature in degrees Celsius? It's 150. Add 150 to 273 and that will give you the Kelvin answer for it. What is that? 273 plus 150. Right? And this will give you the moles. Right? What are the moles? N equals 103 into 10 raised to the power 3 into 127 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 divided by 8.31 into 273 plus 150. What does that give me? That gives me 423. And after you get the moles, you don't need the moles. So remember, you need the MR. You don't need the moles. You're given the mass right here. Right? So after you figure out the moles, what are the moles that we get? We get 3.721 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 moles. These are the moles, remember, not the MR. How do you go from moles to MR or molar mass? How do you go from moles to MR or molar mass? Sir, mass equal mole times molar mass, right? And so if you have the mass, which is 0.284, and you have the moles, which is 3.721 into 10 raised to the power minus 3, what's the molar mass? Please remember, whenever you get the answer from this, do not press AC on your calculator. You might write the answer correct to 4 sig fig or 3 sig fig, but do not, and I repeat, do not press AC on your calculator when you have the value of this particular fraction right here, because the final answer that you get would now be flawed if you pressed AC and used this value. Use the value that the calculator has given to you, even if it's still 10 decimal points, right? Please, or 10 significant figures. Even if you write 4 sig fig here, use the calculator value always, right? Don't press AC on your calculator. So what do you get? 0.284 divided by answer. This is how you do it. 0.284 divided by answer. Answer we get 76.3. That's the molar mass, or you could, molar mass is the same in magnitude as the MR. So 76.3 is the MR. And what's the identity of the compound? Now, if you look at the table, which particular fella gives you 76.3 or 76? Roughly, it should be near 76, right? So, which one? Carbon dioxide, carbon is 12, oxygen is 16 times 2. This is nowhere near 76.3. Sulfur is 32.1. 32.1 in the periodic table. Oxygen is 16 times it by 2. This is about 60 something. Carbon is 12, sulfur is 32.1 times it by 2. What do you get here? I think this is the correct one. 32.1 times 2 plus 12. That gives me 76.2. So it's the closest, 76.2. This fella, CS2, is the identity of the compound. That's why the above table was given to you. Now, there's also another way to do this particular question, and that is to actually manipulate this particular equation. You could have done it directly in the same expression by saying, hey, PV equals nRT. And instead of figuring out the moles first and then using your calculator concept to figure out the MR, you could directly have figured out the MR, because you know that PV equals nRT, but he's asked about the MR. And you know mass equal mole times molar mass, or mole times MR, right? Molar mass or MR, same thing as far as magnitude is concerned, but you know that the correct concept is molar mass, right? So if you were to make mole the subject of this particular equation, it's mass over MR. So I could substitute N with mass over MR right here. PV equals mass over MR times RT. And this MR you could multiply there, and PV you could divide on the right hand side. So MR equals mass into RT divided by PV. So you could have directly calculated the MR by using this particular expression, right? MR equals M into R into T divided by pressure into volume, or you could have done it in 2 steps. It's the same idea. It's up to you, whatever you like, however you like it, right? So you could use the shortcut, or you could do it like this. Normally the exam marking scheme uses this shortcut because the examiner does not expect you guys to know the proper usage of the calculator, which is do not press AC. No matter what you write here, don't press AC on the calculator, because if you do, you're going to get an incorrect value at the end of the day, right? So that's why the examiner does it in a single expression. Done. So the 2023 set is over.